just go.
Go ahead, Kirsten.
Hey, Dave. Today, sorry, I'll move this mic. Today you've got Edwin, you said, is starting. What should we expect to see from him?
Well, it's a 4-pitch mix. It's a strike. He's a strike thrower, debut. I know he's excited, and the hope is for him to go a couple innings and throw up a couple of zeros.
And how do you manage the bullpen on a day like this?
Yeah, I think that there's a couple guys that we have that can go, a few guys that can go multiples in Jimmy, in Mitchell, and so potentially Clevenger. So now to kind of mix and match and get some matchups that will be beneficial for our guys.
And is today just a scheduled off day for Mookie?
Yeah. It's a long stretch here. So I just felt that kind of somewhere in the middle, give him a blow, and then we'll get him in for the next 2 and then the 3 in Chicago. So he'll play 5 straight, getting to the off day.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Next question's from Dave Vassay. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave. Joe Kelly revealed his secret injury to a Boston media member today about a cyst. How aware were you of how serious his injury was?
Yeah, we were aware, Dave, and it's something that Joe, very prideful, doesn't make excuses, and we talked about it, and he just wanted to keep it quiet, and we weren't too concerned as far as the short or the long term. It's something that he didn't want to make an excuse for our performance last year, and so felt it would come out as such. So, we were going to do it. It slipped our mind, but it's not something that we were trying to conceal. I think initially it was more of respecting Joe's wishes.
Why did he want to keep it such a secret?
I just said, because I think that could have been perceived as that he didn't pitch well. The inconsistencies was because of the cyst. So now came into spring training good. Now he went back to back a few days ago, couple days rest. He'll pitch on Sunday. So I think, if it was something more impactful or serious, obviously it would have been, released. But it's more of us kind of adhering to his wishes.
From what you've heard of the way he's throwing the ball, is he getting close to the reason why you guys signed him 3 years ago?
Yes, he is. Joe's doing everything we've asked, trying to get him back. Like I just said, he went back to back. He'll throw an inning on Sunday, and the command, the velocity, the breaking ball, change up, all of that is there. The soreness after outings is dissipating, so he's bouncing back. So hopefully second week of May, we'd love to have him back.
Is that why he was throwing so many curveballs last year? He had a game where he threw 15 consecutive curveballs. Was that because of his shoulder?
That, I would argue, is probably not the reason. So I don't know the reason behind that, but I don't think that was the reason.
Okay, maybe he'll tell the Boston media the reason why one day.
Yeah, that'll be more of a question for him in the Boston media, I guess.
Thanks, Dave.
Got it, Dave.
Next question is from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Dave, do you have anything new on Brusdar?
So Brusdar, like we released, Jorge, it's forearm tightness. He's going to stay with us and get treatment, not play catch for a couple days, see how it responds to treatment. We haven't had any tests yet, but I'm sure we will if their soreness continues to be there. But right now, it's kind of just shutting him down.
He came here with an injury history, the whole thing about the Boston not wanting him after the physical. I mean, are you trying to be extra careful? I mean, forearm tightness is pretty ominous sort of injury designation. You have to be extra careful with a guy like this.
Yeah, but I think that initially it was more of the shoulder, as I recall, with the medicals before. So once we've had him, he's been nothing but healthy. But any pitch that says forearm tightness, we just kind of flag it and make sure that, kind of calm it down a little bit and see where we're at.
And just without, the way the bullpen injuries, you had a lot of stuff last week with Knable, Price, Brusdar. I mean, Mitch and Victor were in and out. Did you guys consider just having Dustin start on regular rest today?
Yeah, we did. We thought about it, but we just felt that, taking care of our guys, and I think that the bullpen is reset in a good spot, and we made roster decisions to kind of cover. But taking care of the starters, making sure they get that extra day and continue to manage their workload as we get through the summer. Really important.
And then with Muncie's walking a lot. A lot. He's getting on base in that way. Not really hitting, but getting on base through walks. Have you guys considered at all maybe just to spark the lineup a bit? I know this lineup is a lineup that won you guys the World Series last year, having Mookie and then Seager and Justin and Muncie, but switching Seager and Muncie maybe.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is that if you look at Max, he's getting on base, having CT back, having AJ swing the bat well, I think is going to change things as far as there's a cost to walk Max. Whereas if you look back at the last 7 to 10 days, we just didn't have the guys back behind him. And it was clear that these guys were pitching around him. And so now I think that our lineup is a little bit longer as far as AJ and CT back. Losing McKinstry certainly hurt as well. But yeah, I thought about it, but I think that right now we're going to stay the course where we're at.
And Mookie getting the day off, I saw he was on here out on the field for early BP, talking to Justin. I think you were there talking to him for a bit too. What are you seeing from him the last week? It seems since he got hit by that pitch against Seattle, he's been striking out a little bit more. What are you seeing from him in his at-bats?
Well, I think Mookie ending at bats with balls in the strike zone. He's not doing as well as he normally does. Swinging out of the zone, very uncharacteristic. So I think for him, it's just kind of taking some extra swings, feeling a little bit better about his mechanics, and that'll lead into performance. So I think it's more of things mechanically that he's kind of working through with the hitting guys, and Justin is a great guy to have to kind of bounce things off as well.
I'm assuming Mookie's a guy that doesn't want to make excuses, but did that pitch that got hit by in Seattle, did that impact him? Did that affect him a bit?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
You got it. All right.
Next question is from Juan Toribio. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, you kind of mentioned it there with Mookie that he's been taking some pitches in the zone to kind of strike out looking. It seems like when that happens, he's pretty upset with himself. Do you think that kind of a day off can also help him reset mentally a little bit?
I think a little bit, but I will say that this was predetermined as far as kind of in the middle of this run to get him a day. Not really thinking about the at-bats he's had over the last 7 to 10 days. But yeah, I mean, he's a guy that really has a great idea of the strike zone. So when he's taking call third strikes that do get the white part of the plate, he's a little frustrated that he can't, get his swing off.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Next question is from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, Dave, to keep picking at Mookie a little bit, I'll take it back a little farther. He's hit 213 since he came back from the back issue. Do you see anything about his swings or physically where that's still bothering him?
So I you know what, that's a fair ask. I don't. Just running the bases, defending, the aggressiveness of the swings. I don't think it's affecting the back, the kind of the carryover from that. But could that have affected mechanics? Certainly. I just don't know, and that's kind of more, what he and the hitting guys. But that's a fair question. Yeah.
With Brusdar, I think yesterday you said he was going to get an MRI. Is that the case?
It's right now in town. We just don't have that. I don't know if we have the resources. Our staff feels that just getting him a couple days of not throwing and treat it will give us a better idea of how he's feeling. Once we get back to town, that potentially still will remain an option. But right now, we're not going to do that.
Any news out of Arizona with Cody?
He is still kind of going through the progressions, taking at bats, or batting practice. He hasn't taken at bats yet, live at bats, but hopefully in the coming days that'll happen.
Thank you, Dave.
You got it, Bill.
Next question is from Eric Steven. Go ahead.
Dave, along those same lines with Bellinger and I guess McKinstry as well, with minor league season starting up like in a few days here, are there still going to be games for those guys to play at Camelback Ranch, or do they have to sort of go to affiliates at a certain point?
Yeah, so I do know that there's a 4 or 5 day break before the minor league season starts. So I just don't know the logistics, Eric, I know pitchers will be there. So I think the floor is Belly can take, Zach can take live at bats from our own guys versus playing in an outside game against another club. So I think that's the floor. And I think that our guys in Arizona will kind of assess what's best for those two players.
And then is there an update on what Tony Gonsolin has been able to do out there as well?
Yeah, he threw a 20 pitch pen yesterday and came out of it good. So getting off the mound was great. So my guess that it will be another 3 or 4 days that he'll get back off the mound, and it'll probably be an up and down or a 35 pitch pen, something like that.
Thanks, Dave.